Leo, this is going to be your monthly reading. I was intending this to be for the rest of June, beginning of July 2021, but I feel like that if you stumble onto this some other time, then it's meant for you, because there's some pretty cool messages that came out here. This was so hilarious. When I started this, I actually was, I don't know, I was kind of starting to laugh, and I had to ground myself and get myself back to neutrality, and remember that like I have to just keep getting the messages, because I don't know what you're doing, Leos, but it's pretty crazy. So, all right. But anyway, so it started out. Let's see. Oh, I have to give you a summary of how I do this for anyone who's new to how I do things here. So what I do is I usually start with. I've been starting with playing cards, right? And I shuffle them until some fall out. And from those I take a challenge and some advice. One for challenge, one for advice, and one for the results or the outcome, right? And then I ask for clarification, and I start out by kind of doing meditating, like with a rosary or these prayer beads I have, while I'm asking for like correct messages to come through, and then I get kind of images in my mind, and I try to draw them for you. So and then that's when afterwards we try to connect the dots, and sometimes it's pretty interesting. But so the first thing that while I was doing that meditating, I saw, this isn't probably the best drawing, but it was like hands, grabbing the dirt, playing in the dirt. But I thought here, grounding, what I thought is getting out in nature, being in the trees, playing in the dirt, literally, if you like that, rocks. One lady I know, she had said she wanted to learn, or she would be interested in seeing how I do this, and so I'm going to be vulnerable here and tell you some things that sometimes the cards, you direct the energy that you want to learn into the cards, and then I have learned that by touching them, I sometimes can receive messages from them. And I mean, sometimes that sounds kind of crazy to maybe some people, but to be honest, I think a lot of the reason is just because in our culture, in Western culture, we've been so closed off to it for so long that we sort of shut down our gifts. And I think probably as we learn to open up more and get in touch with our gifts, more people will be able to do this. And so touching the dirt, there's something you can actually, like with rocks, nature, trees, the ground, you can actually, it can teach you about life and give you wisdom, that's of a special kind that only comes from there. And so I don't know, that has kind of special meaning to me in that way. But so I think that was kind of like, it was the first picture that came to my mind when I sat down to do your reading. I had some songs that had come into my mind as well. And one of them was, what was that? Smash Mouth, that song by Smash Mouth, All Star. Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play, which Leos, it's really important for Leos to have fun in everything they do, and which is, sorry, I'm remembering this, I'm starting to laugh all over again. Okay, so it's really important for Leos to have fun in everything they do, and they quickly will lose interest if something is not fun. I'm looking for the lyrics. Anyway, I guess you can look up, I'll put the link in the description box of all the songs that I'm mentioning here. So it's all that glitters is gold, that song, you know, so excuse my bad singing, but off of Shrek, you know, and it's that song. I even looked up some of the interpretations of the meaning of it, and it was basically the people who wrote it were writing it for, you know, the person who wants to go out against all odds and do his thing and try his best, you know, and just cheer them on. I think of, you know, the all-star playing for their job and things that, yeah, playing is really important. Now I'll get to the next step. I think they're telling me keep going, Stacy. Okay, so the challenge was the seven of is the Seven of Wands in tarot. So the Seven of Wands was the challenge. The Four of Diamonds was the advice, and the Eight of Wands was the outcome. Okay, that's what we started with. And okay, so for the challenge, I start to focus in on that. I mean, I'm going to pull some more cards for you later, but I just wanted to show you the pictures. So first I saw this, a hand, you know, drawing with a pen, and then like counting, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, like in my mind, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I start feeling like overwhelmed while I was drawing them. That was kind of funny. Like, oh God, like I felt like I could have gotten the point across by just maybe drawing 1 or 2 of them, but I kept feeling, no, I gotta draw more, I gotta draw more, I gotta draw more, and I started feeling like really overwhelmed. And then I got this image. Actually, I kind of even felt like I wanted to put my head down, and then I got this image of someone, you know, like a man putting his head down on a table. Okay, and I thought, well, you know, maybe he's feeling like overwhelmed, because here we have somebody writing something down possibly, and then, you know, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then feeling like, oh my gosh, just overwhelmed, right? So that's the challenge. That's for the challenge. And then for the advice, this was I wasn't sure. I'm just sharing you what I got. So I saw like the hand again, but it like stopped, froze, like, you know, with just one finger down. Like I was like, what is they saying? Stop it too, you know? Which, yeah, I think that might be it. Like, I'll explain later. And then dripping water, right? And the ripples going out from the dripping water. And that's the advice. And I'll explain later. And at the end result, were there any more drawings? No, these are the last drawings, I think. The end result, I had it. Now this was a tree. I saw like a tree, and it sort of opened up, and I could see like water rushing into the tree from the ground, right? So those squiggly arrows are like a flow. Sorry, I gotta touch the deals so my computer won't shut off here every so often. It's I don't know if you can see it very well. It's a tree, and there's like a flow of water coming in from the ground up into the tree. And then I saw like a hand like reaching down, like extending clear down and touching the ground, right? Which I thought, again, is that being out in nature type thing possibly, or maybe just being grounded in whatever way helps you to feel grounded, which I'll probably include my link with the drums that I like, and 33 bowls, Tibetan bowls to listen to, because I think it's a really great way to ground yourself, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Another song that came into my mind, but anyway, it was Katy Perry's set last Friday night. Is it that one? Okay, I'm back here. I had to show you some of the lyrics for oh, my dog's coming. Oh, my dog's coming over here. Okay, help me out here, Bean. Bean wants to help with the reading. Okay. Okay. So let me get the lyrics to some of these songs here. Um, Katy Perry was pictures of last night ended up online. I'm screwed. Oh well. You know, and um, I'm thinking copyright, copyright, copyright. How much can I say without infringing on that? We danced on tabletops, took too many shots, think we kissed but I forgot, chandeliers on the floor, maxed out our credit cards, we got kicked out of the bar, went streaking in the dark, went streaking in the park, skinny dipping in the dark. Basically, a lot of chaos, right? So, of course, then I thought, well, that chaos, it might go with this, like the next day thinking, oh my God, what did I do, right? And then, or even possibly with this one, you know, like, okay, 1, 2, 3, how many, you know, that, counting that. The pictures, I felt like, yeah, Bean's helping. So he gets full center stage apparently here for a second. So the pictures could be they could be, well, I'll explain the meaning of that card, the 7 of Wands that I got for that, is actually a card that is referring to like boundaries, and I was thinking about, oh God, this is so, the visions in like what I'm picturing in my head. I wish I could just like open it up and just share with you, you know, like a movie, because like I was thinking of how Leos, they like to be center stage, right? And so they like to play, they like to be center stage, you know, they're represented by the lion. And so that Katy Perry song was, okay, I gotta get centered here. All right. Yeah, so with the boundaries. Okay, so with their challenge of boundaries, and Leo's liking to play and liking to be center stage, and the Katy Perry song, and these, okay, you know, counting 1, 2, 3, and then this is the outcome. So when you put that in the context of boundaries, all right, that made sense, right? That and it also the let me show you. Okay, if I could get you gets, because in the playing cards it looks like this, right? It just looks like an 8 of clubs. But in the tarot decks, it looks like a guy kind of standing on a table with a stick and a whole bunch of guys under him with a bunch of other sticks, and it just seems kind of Leo-like because he's kind of like, the guy on top is like fighting to stay on top, or possibly, you know, maybe doing a show and them cheering him on or something, right? And so, but it represents boundaries, and yeah, so apparently your challenge right now for Leos is boundaries, possibly, or coming up, and you know, I shouldn't probably be laughing about this because it's serious, right? I guess, and so I just think, you know, the whole Katy Perry images from the song, a little too much for me. All right, so okay, we get serious here. So we'll get to the advice. That will help. Okay. Okay. So the advice was the four of diamonds and playing cards, and these were the pictures that I got, right? So, let's see. I was really perplexed on the meaning of those. I was completely, I could sort of guess. Like I said, is it meaning go 1, 2, and stop at 2? Because that makes sense, right, for boundaries. And then the dripping water. Well, now it makes perfect sense to me. Like now, I kind of feel stupid that I didn't figure it out. But I took this. I'll show you, and this is part of the reason I do this is so people can learn those of you who want to learn these type of things, develop your own type of spirituality with this. Okay, is that when I'm really perplexed and lost, sometimes I will take out this. Well, I have a couple of them, but this is one of my favorite ones, The Wisdom of the Oracle, by Colette Baron Reed, right? And so I just shuffle them like this until some fall out. So to clarify those, the four of diamonds, which means control. It basically means control. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Control. This one, I believe goes with this picture a little bit, right? Is contemplating. It makes sense to me now. Even looking at the picture, when you do an action, it has a spiral effect, or it has a ripple effect, I guess you could say, like from the water. And so meditating on that and on your life. But they say it better than I do. Let's see what it says here. Okay. Are you wondering, how did I get here again? Does something feel familiar right now in your dynamics with others? Maybe a little too familiar? Don't be surprised that you've found yourself repeating an old story with the same sort of person, who may not look similar, but who attracted you because of your easy acquaintance with his or her qualities. Okay. You may have circled back to an accustomed spot, a familiar place, but that's fine. As you get to do things again, only differently this time. For you learned something of great value since last time around. How will you choose to behave now that you're aware? Remain curious and stay out of the blame game. So I like that because it's talking about, what do you call it? Yeah, I know my table's really lame, okay, but and this card for the prosperity message says, if you're in a scenario that appears to be an echo of something that's already happened in the past in your work life, it is because you're being invited to see what you couldn't see before. This is a perfect time for you to look at the deeper motives you have and your attraction to the opportunities and people who have entered your life to be part of your journey to prosperity. Who helps you navigate? Who sabotages you? Who supports you? What are the familiar signs and your responses to them when you find yourself in a repeat of a pattern of the past? It's a good time to get a coach or mentor who can help you to see what you can't see on your own. Repeat what works, not what doesn't. So repeat what works, not what doesn't. Then you will free yourself from old cycles and cease going around and around. Okay, so I don't know why, but after I read that, I thought, okay, that just seems clear, doesn't it? It's talking about the actions that we have, the actions that we do have ripple effects, and they're going to grow out from whatever action we have. So it's time. And, I suppose it's good to have that Leo, humor to handle it, because it's so easy to get down on ourselves when we are seeing that we're stuck in cycles, like that, going round and round. The next one is come to the edge. Okay, this one was really cool too. And it was talking about learning to be vulnerable and express who you really are. And saying what you really feel, showing who you really are. Because I think part of that sort of being in that mentality, where you're getting carried away with the emotion in the crowd, or even whether it be the crowd of other people or your own emotion from the inside, that carries you to extremes, to whether it be spend too much money, drink too much, or maybe it's a different kind of boundaries. Maybe it's even just feeling like you have too many things to do, saying yes to too many people or too many obligations. This one talks about taking that risk to be vulnerable and say, what you really need to say, so that you can make that limit, right? And I think I want to read that one also, part of it, because it was really, really nice how they said it. Okay. It's scary to be truly intimate with someone, to allow him or her to see all of you, especially the parts that you have kept hidden and protected. Now is the time to take that risk and let yourself be seen, truly seen. It's important that you speak up, voice what you need, state who you are, say what you hope for. This is not the time to play it safe, but to take a leap of faith. You will be glad you did. If you're seeking a relationship, the same applies. Take one step toward the gods, and they will deliver you what you truly desire. Yeah, so saying what you really feel and what you really want is part of setting those limits. Now, the outcome was this, and I'm going to do some, I guess I feel like, I want to do some cards. I sort of morphed into doing more drawings than cards, so sorry about that, but we'll see how this develops as I progress. Whoops, it's upside down. There's the tree. Okay, so this was the eight of wands in tarot. I can't remember right now. 8 of clubs, whatever those are. So the 8 of wands in tarot, 8 of clubs in playing cards. What it is sometimes it can be a lot of communication. Sometimes it can be really fast movement or progress. When I got, a hand touching the ground, and then this one, I guess it makes sense now, because the rush of water is like the rush of the 8 of wands, the energy, because wands represent energy, which are the clubs and playing cards represent energy, right? And a fast moving energy. So, okay, now that's interesting. I'm just thinking about it. So, like, we don't usually think of like being outside playing in the dirt as, a rush of energy. We think of it as sometimes maybe just messing around or being lazy or wasting time. Like I said, especially in Western culture, where we're kind of taught, time is money, blah, blah, blah. Instead, okay, yeah, so this hand is touching the dirt, and it's symbolically like the tree, the flow of energy can come through the dirt into you. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Okay. And it grounds you. Okay. So with the 8 of wands, the flowing energy, we had the 7 of swords, which can be deceptive energy, or something that's kind of feels like it's not right, maybe. And sorry. Let's see. So to clarify those, I got Jack of Hearts and Seven of Diamonds reversed. And this is a like a romantic sort of seductive type energy. And this one here, the Seven of Pentacles reversed, is like looking around at your surroundings, but seeing them negatively, or it could be actual negative surroundings, like your actual negative, like I don't know, the thing that just popped into my head is like gambling, not stable. And so it's like seductive but not stable. So, but it could be different things, just anything, I guess, if we're going overboard with something to the point that it becomes destructive, right? I'm not here to judge. I'm never here to judge anyone ever, because Lord knows I have been there. I think probably most of us have. And if we haven't, we probably are, I don't know, we just haven't discovered the shadow side of ourselves yet. But it's taking anything kind of to an extreme, right? And that can turn into that unstable situation. And that's why I think it took me back to this and this. And it's kind of like reflecting on, like that one page in the book said, the cycles in your life. What are the things that worked? And learning to, remember, it said right now you're at a higher point. You're looking at your life from like a bird's eye perspective. So you're starting to be able to see some of those cycles. And don't judge yourself or others. It doesn't help anyone. Just sort of try to take note of what's helping me, what's not helping me. Maybe here we have the write down and see, taking notes, and maybe stop at 2 instead of 3 or 4. Whether it be jobs you're doing or okay, I think I'm getting redundant now, aren't I? All right, that's enough. Okay, we'll go to some cards. I'm gonna try to do some tarot cards and see what comes out. That was because I think when I start repeating myself, that's a clue that it's time to do something else, because that means that I'm talking and not translating. All right, anyway. Okay, so I need any messages for, let's see, it helps if I think of a question. For Leos, end of June, beginning of July, do you have any messages for Leo? Let's start with, what are Leos really wanting? What will help them to feel really happy right now? Is that a bad question? I feel like it's oh, look! This is the 8 of Wands. That's the same one that came out, the 8 of, I can't remember freaking playing cards names. Clubs, 8 of clubs. What you want is that flow of energy. Okay. So that's crazy. The exact same one came out. What you really want is that flow of energy. And then I'm remembering the one that came out with it is the seductive and unstable. So what else? What else do Leos want? What else do Leos want? Okay. Sorry. This is so funny to me. Okay, it's because I've been there. I talk about how we all have, I have to say it, we all have all of the signs in our chart somewhere, right? And for me, I have Leo in relationships. And so that's, I think, part of the reason I'm laughing is because I'm remembering it when I'm in my Leo energy. And it's not funny, but that's, I think, how I deal with what conflict or difficulties is. I first laugh, and then when I do my Leo thing and go too far and get in trouble, I'm not laughing anymore at all. No, I'm not laughing. In fact, I do the kind of traditional Leo thing where I do take two. I don't laugh at all when I go too far and I get in trouble, and usually then I turn it into a theater and get all upset, and I feel really hurt, and I feel like I was trying my best. So yeah, we'll take three here. Okay, so the King of Wands. King of Wands reversed is, so when he's upright, he's charismatic, he's a great leader, he can accomplish pretty much anything. And people just gravitate toward him. He does these projects, and people, they come sort of, I mean, it almost seems by magic that they just sort of find him and follow him, and he's able to get things done. He's able to coordinate things, produce amazing results, right? When he's reversed, he might be, more volatile. Is that the right word? Volatile, yeah. He might get angry, yell, get out of his lane, so to speak, to where he's stepping on people's toes without realizing it. Maybe he's not angry and yelling, but maybe sometimes he's being what he thinks is funny or great. Gracious is the word, gracioso in Spanish, the word that came into my mind. Maybe he thinks he's being like friendly, sociable with people, but other people, they're trying to be serious, and he doesn't understand that. So it's like, I say, like getting out of the traffic lane, symbolically speaking. So the reason I laughed is because I turn that on. The reason I laughed is because when I asked, this came out for what Leos want, and like I said, since I have Leo in my 7th house, which is why I really encourage anyone who's new on here, maybe I should put in also, I use Cafe Astrology, but I know there's more accurate ones. My daughter has told me Astro something, but the only one in my mind right now is Cafe Astrology. But if you just put in there Cafe Astrology Calculate online, you can put in your birth information, and it will tell you all about your birth chart. The key is if you know your birth time. If you know your birth time, then that's when you can learn. Why is the light off? Okay. Then that's when you can learn which sign you have in which house, and it's really enlightening to see the different aspects of your personality that show the different signs, right? And so, okay, anyway, so this is what Leo wants. He wants a little bit to be maybe over the top, or I don't think he wants to upset people, though. That's what he doesn't understand. And I don't feel like he wants to be when I say that, over the top, I feel like that was the wrong word. It's in his heart, he's a little kind of reckless, fun, out of control. That's what he's kind of wanting. But what he really wants is that flow of energy. And so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna ask here, how should Leo get that flow of energy that he wants? Okay, the Knight of Wands. Well, that's kind of funny. You feel like, well, how would that be advice? Because that's kind of Knight of Wands is. I'm laughing again. This is your Leo. Your energy, the Leo energy is just overcoming me. I'm laughing because when I remember I did a reading on my dog once, and the dogs went barking towards the door, and I got this card, and then I got the Knight of Swords reversed, also because it can be, when he's upright, he's passionately going after something, that he's really really means the world to him, and he's gonna go get his dreams, right? But when he's reversed, then he's kind of just like, bah, and just like jumps in without thinking, and sometimes causes problems. So I'm going to clarify that card because I was asking for advice. So I'm curious what the advice is going to be here. I'm remembering as I'm shuffling that a few days, like a week or so before this, when I was trying to do Leo, start my Leo reading, and I got energy of someone like skiing, like when in the mountains, snow skiing, and just like going, downhill so fast that they were like they had the feeling of going out of control, and it's making me think of that, and that the advice during that one was to slow down, and just enjoy the scenery, and that reminds me of that song again, in that All-Star song, from Shrek, where he said, there's nothing wrong with taking the back roads. That's not exactly it, but if you look up the lyrics, and like I said, I'll put the link in the description box, and maybe the comments. Okay, so choose, and now that's interesting, isn't it? So this one here, when it's upright, it means lots and lots of different options. When he's confused, doesn't know what to do. When it's reversed, is like choose, or like reveal, choose. I feel like it's and then this guy, sometimes he's that one who can be like deception or something, but he can also be sort of sneaking away. And I was just talking about that part of the song All-Star when it said, there's nothing wrong with taking the back road, or what's wrong with taking the back road. And then I had just talked about getting that earlier message about slowing down and enjoying the scenery instead of whooshing down the mountain. So I think this is talking about that, taking the back road, it doesn't have to be, from point A to point B to point C. You can go off on your own a little bit, and then that's when you will find your spark of energy. That Ace of Wands is the spark of pure energy. That it's just the spark, the first initial spark that for us to take advantage of if we want to. Of course, it's up to us to develop it. But I think slowing down will reveal that spark. And that spark will be the one, if you slow down and you take your time, that this reminds me of meditating, actually, kind of. But that one little spark, this little spark that you discover that you love on your road will, you can think of there may be several of these, but you can contemplate which of these sparks are going to create ripple effects, that will create lasting happiness, and which of the sparks are going to create ripple effects that, might cause, there's that picture, a little bit of this. So that might be what you're reflecting on right now. Okay, so Leo, I am doing more on your reading, and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, I want to be the most help I can to Leos, right? And I was thinking, well, I know some Leos, and I know they're not like really big into the party scene right now. And so what can be the deeper message here for the Leos? And I'm not saying, how do I say this? I'm not saying there may be some who are, and that's, like I said, no judgment, no shade, but I'm trying to look for what is the best what might be the general best message to be helpful to all Leos. So I looked for some general oracle card messages, even though that there might be some that this is a general reading and the story might be different for each one. But I got these two. Oracle cards, Blessed and Community. And I'm going to read a little bit out of each. Community is belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense. A sense of family and friendship, knowing your place in the world. This card signals a new affiliation with a group. We need, excuse me, we need to know we are useful to our families and communities. In a community, everyone has an important function and feels I matter. Membership in a group provides a sense of belonging, of kinship and purpose that comes from working together for a greater fulfillment of all. It says perhaps you are part of a spiritual community or an artistic one. Maybe you are in a learning community where you share your love of education. Regardless of its form or focus, your community brings you joy. You will be inspired by it and want to contribute to it. Your contribution may be as small as showing up or as large as becoming its leader. No matter your position in the group, your presence is needed. I love that for you. And Blessed. I love this one too. That one talked about something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected, and grace that is an unforeseen gift from Spirit. And it says there are moments in life when out of the blue it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It's as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. You know deep down you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all your blessings guide you now. I love that one also. Now, so I got out my Wisdom of the Tao because, again, looking for something kind of deeper. That's Wisdom of the Tao Oracle cards by Mei Jin Liu. Okay, and I got this one now. I remember I had gotten that in the playing card deck. I had gotten the Seven of Swords or Seven of Spades, which can be sometimes like a little bit of confusion or deception. And this one says trick. Things may not be as they seem. Things may not be as they appear to be. Don't just hear, listen. Don't just look, see. Don't just sense, feel. You are taking a risk if you insist on proceeding. Observe the situation closely. With more detailed information, you will see through the deception. So what I feel like with that, I don't know that it's... Well, with the messages earlier about, grounding in the dirt, and I had said that I was going to talk about that a little bit, which I've been doing this with, I think, almost all the videos, is mentioning the exercise about listening to drums or 33 Tibetan bowls, which I really strongly recommend to everyone every day. It's a way to ground yourself. It's also a way to get in touch with your intuition. and I'm going to put some on here a little bit to show you. It's a way to let me just show you here. It's a way to learn to get in touch with your intuition and to look to, like it says here, to don't just hear, listen, don't just look, see, don't just sense, feel. And what it is you get in touch with how your body feels. Okay, yeah, so I'll put the link in the description box for this. These are some drums that I listen to. So it's good to, or you can find some different ones if you like. It's good to like listen to drums or Tibetan bowls, 33 bowls, or if you like something else, about just 5 or 10 minutes a day. And when you're doing it, pay attention to, just put your attention on how your body feels. And the reason for that, if your mind starts to wander, just bring your attention back to how your body feels. Your body is like an antenna. So it's the communication signal between like your subconscious and your conscious, or your intuition and your conscious, or I guess, some might call it the supernatural in your conscious, or the natural in your conscience. So the way that you feel can communicate with you, and it will help you if you do that for just 5 minutes a day, or just 10 minutes a day. It will help sort of change the vibration that you're, or the level, what you're tuned into, so that you can notice little things, little synchronicities, and little signs, coincidences, or things that will show you a sort of deeper level of what's going on in a situation, so that you will be able to notice if a situation is headed in a dangerous direction, or something's going to happen that it will help you notice signs that will be able to point you in a direction that will help you see what's good for you and what's not good for you. It will help you tune into those signs and signals. And so I highly recommend that. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I said, I'll include that in the description box. So yeah, let me see if there's anything else. Let me see if there's any more cards for Leo to clarify the Wands. It was the Seven of Wands you had for the challenge that was like limits, or it seemed like, now that I'm remembering, and the things that it's talking about with community and people, because Leos are such community-loving people, and that's why I love them so much. They're really wonderful, really helpful. And I'm thinking right now, as I'm doing this, about if you're doing, Leos are so giving and helpful. Sometimes they get a bad rap, and people think that they are like arrogant or something. I don't see that at all. I guess everyone has their shadow side, right? So, but I think that they really want to help people. But so learning to, if you're in the middle of something and someone calls and wants your help, to be able to say, hey, I'm in the middle of something, I can't do that right now, actually could be something important for Leos to learn, and to know that that's okay. It doesn't mean you're not contributing. Contribute when you can, and just learn to know that it's okay to count when you prioritize yourself. It's learning to commit in a way, and that will help you to commit to other people as well, which is part of the reason we're on this planet, to go more deeply into one direction and learn what that means. I don't know if that made sense, but all right, so I just got these, the Knight of Pentacles and the Two of Wands reversed. Yes, okay. So what I see here is the Knight of Pentacles is slow progress forward, and the Two of Wands is, sometimes the Two of Wands, when it's reversed, when it's upright, it is plans to move forward. When it, in there, the wands are very Leo energy. It's just pure energy, you know, and passionate, fiery, fun. When it's reversed, it means going back to the initial seed, the initial spark of energy, and figuring out kind of what it was that you really wanted, and kind of refining that fire. Some of the decks, in some of the decks, it has a man holding on to one of the wands, and I like that because it shows that when it's reversed, one of them falls away, and he's holding on just to his initial spark again. So it's a little bit slowing down, which so that reminds me that one of the other songs that came into my mind was another 21 Pilots song. I'm going to have a lot of links in this for the songs, but 21 Pilots song that was, I can't remember the name of it. It was, oh, I'm falling, and so I'm taking my time. It was talking about, and that reminded me of how I had spoken earlier about the sensation of just like kind of feeling like you're skiing down a mountain really fast, out of control, and then learning to, you know, slow down and enjoy the scenery while you're doing it. So it's not necessarily that you're on the wrong path as much as just, you know, if you take a wrong step, that means that's just a signal to let maybe one of your wands go and go back to what was it I originally wanted. Okay, yeah, I'm sticking with that. Now maybe I'll build on that again. I'm going to build on that again and keep building on that. Maybe go change my direction just by 1/4 of a degree here, you know, and like when you have an angle, if your angle is, if you're going in this direction, and you keep going, it's gonna go a long way that way. But if you alter the direction just a little bit, then if you keep going for a long ways, it's gonna end up really in a different place. So maybe if something happens, you're running really fast and you trip and fall, you just stop and go, well, what was it I wanted again? Oh yeah, okay, it was this, so I'm going to go back a little ways and explore a little more, and maybe alter my course just a little bit, and keep exploring and keep your fun Leo attitude. Don't feel that you have to get rid of your Leo fun, your Leo joy, just you know, let yourself, here, why didn't I show this to you? Why didn't I show these to you? Jeez. Okay, here's both of these. See the Knight of Pentacles over here. He all of the knights, they're of progress, and Leos are usually very fiery energy and passionate, but they're also, you know, they're no slouch. They get done, they stand by their word, and they do what they say they're going to do. So I suppose it makes sense that they might have a tendency to overcommit. And yeah, I remember when I first started to do this reading, and I remember having this idea in my mind where it was of a commercial from when I was a little kid, and the guy said in this commercial, it was a guy in a business suit, and he said, he kept answering the telephone and saying, I can do that, yep, I can do that, and answering another call, I can do that, and another call, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that, and then he put the phone down and said, how am I going to do that? And so since the Leos, they want to fulfill their word every time they say yes, um, and they're fiery and they want to help, that this is changing and slowing down a little bit, because the Knight of Pentacles, he's a little bit more slow moving, so he still fulfills his word, but maybe he lets go of one of those wands and he just goes with one of the wands, but he's still making that steady, slow progress on his path, and he's getting where he's going a little more slowly, so he can enjoy that ride. And playing in the dirt on the way, because Pentacles are an earth sign, so staying grounded, and so he can enjoy his ride a little bit. And oh my gosh, I love this for you, Leo. I'm gonna draw one more card for you. I drew one, but it got edited out, or accidentally edited out. It was about omens and signs, and it was about learning to see omens and signs and being guided by them. So again, I think as you slow down and learn to be grounded, and maybe learn a little bit about that meditation, you're going to learn to be guided by omens and signs. So I'm going to look for one more card. Should I do from the Tao? I'm going to do from the Tao for you. One more card for Leo. The Way. Okay. See this one, Leo? This is your final card. It's called The Way, and I believe that it's even the meaning of the Tao. And it says, you are in the right place at the right time. Stay grounded. Oh, nice. Stay grounded. Avoid extremes because it could change. Abandon false praise, and people will be truthful. Shun formality, and people will be sincere. Forsake cleverness, and people will be kind to each other. This is your final card, Leo. I love that so much. Stay grounded, and you'll have a great time, Leo. Love that. Have a great rest of the month, Leo, and we'll see you next time. Why is there we go. Leos, I was editing the video that I just got finished with you, and I saw this one, and I just kept thinking creativity. I have learned over and over that whenever I see the water, if it doesn't mean water sign, it also can mean creative energy, people who enjoy painting, singing, music, arts, drama. And I couldn't, so I thought I need to tell you that, because I was also noticing that a lot of the theme in a lot of the cards were talking about creative projects, arts, music, things like that, and it's talking about it with people. And knowing Leos, I know that they're passionate about things like that, drama, things like that. So and then putting it together with this, I want, in the being vulnerable and saying who you really are. I really felt it's probably a really important part of the message to. Especially talking about dropping one of the wands and going back and finding out what you're really passionate about. Go back and think, what am I really passionate about? And now's the time to figure that out and take the risk, and do what it is you're passionate about, and build on that, instead of what maybe people are telling you should do. Because that's what it's telling me, and that's what I think. That's what life's about. That's what that song was, the Shrek song. What does it talk about? Life's too short. I don't know. We're talking about living for fun. There people who don't live for fun. Their head gets smart, but their heart gets dumb. Something like that. And, it's been my experience in life that if you do what you really, really like, it will work out. And even my daughter, she had people that were telling her, you got to think about money, you got to think about money. She ended up, studying law, and she kind of ended up compromising a little bit, I think, and trying to study, what was it, anthropology and international law. And she's doing all right, but she had remembered that initially she had wanted to study art and graphic design and things, and now she's finding that that's actually what she's using more. So if there's something you really want to study in college, study it. If there's something you really want to do, if you have to do other things to survive, do them, but make sure you also include what you want to do. It's really important for you. I just feel like that's a really important message. It's been important in my life. What I studied, I just wanted to learn Spanish, so I learned it in college, and then that's what I ended up doing to make my money. And so now I'm doing this, but I just think that's a really important part of the message, because this water represents creativity, and then but staying grounded. So yeah, take that how it resonates with you, but I really felt like I needed to include it, Leo. So thank you, and have a good rest of the month. I hope to see you soon.